In disguise. This Honda Prelude has pushrod front suspension, just like a Formula Brabham car. Look at the suspension units around here. Absolutely sensational, state-of-the-art stuff. Now, Crick's car is leading the championship. By comparison, the car that's coming second is almost rudimentary. Dom Beninca's car still uses an engine placed at the front of the motor car, and it's a 2-litre Alfa Romeo engine, turbocharged, of course, but it's sensational that this car, which is more than 10 years old, is actually still at the front of the field. And Greg Crick, why would it be that a car like this can be giving a car like yours such a hard time?
Dominic started off the championship very well at Sandown. It's a very, very fast car, but the 2-litre turbo actually has more power than our V8. So on the circuit like Sandown, where it wasn't such a handling circuit, Dominic managed to win the first 2 races there. I think development's a big thing. They've got the car very well sorted out, and as the development goes on with our car, I'm sure that it'll get faster and faster.
Greg, your car is the last one ever to be built by Alfetta in Australia. Just how complex is it and how difficult is it to set up?
It's been very difficult for us. It's been a big learning curve. It's basically learning how to set up an open-wheeler car, John. Yesterday we had problems. We had a front pushrod 3 millimetres out in the suspension, and it just ruined the handling of the whole car. So it's very finicky and it's very touchy to set up.
After 4 rounds in the Australian Sports Sedan Championship, 2 at Sandown, 2 previously at Eastern Creek, it is Greg Crick and the Honda leading on 50 points from Dom Beninca, just 4 points behind on 46. Gary Scott, who's now got a new car to replace the old V12 Jaguar, back on 35, but should be more competitive. Des Wall's not far behind him, the man that's taken pole position today. Brian Smith, who was bumped back when they revised his time, the West Australians, on 30. Mick Monterosso on 28. A really tight championship as they face up to the 5th and 6th rounds today.
Des Wall, an unexpected pole position after Brian Smith was bumped from pole this morning.
Yes, we're very happy with the time. We've got a lot more horsepower than we had at the previous meeting. We had an oil pressure problem as well last time, but Alan Felsh has given us a great engine and Bob Tyndall's done a great job on the car.
In fact, you're 1.9 seconds faster than you were this time last meeting. That's sensational.
Yeah, we're very pleased with it. If we can get a good start, we hope to have a good race.
But you've got a huge grid around you. What are you going to do about them?
We're going to race tight and close with them, and I think it'll be an interesting event.
Lining up for the 5th round of the Australian Sports Sedan Championship at Eastern Creek. It's 12 laps, 47.16 kilometres. Des Wall has taken pole position in his car number 48 over Greg Crick by 100th of a second. 1:32.64 to a 32.65. Brian Smith at a 32.73 takes up the 3rd grid position in car 5. Mick Monterosso very quick off the line, and the little lightweight Escort is in car 69. Gary Scott then, big booming V12 Jaguar, 34.49. Dominic Beninca, 35.13. Terry Shield, efficient little Mazda, not a lot of power but light, 35.54. And Ian Luffin, a new car, 35.85. Bob Jolly, 36.07. And Kerry Bailey, 37.01. Larry Jameson, 37.31 and 37.72 to Keith Carling. That's pole position. Des Walls in car number 48, ready to blast away when he unleashes 560 horsepower. Greg Crick on his outside really has a single-seater car with a bit of a body on it. It's virtually, and he bobs down, he doesn't get away. Monterosso blasts the 2nd row of the grid. Gary Scott goes with him. Finally, Des Wall gets going. Gary Scott can't go on with the job, and Greg Crick wakes up with the races on, and he moves away. And finally, not going anywhere, is Terry Shield in car 11, the little RX-7.
Actually, good start from Monterosso. The car is incredibly light and obviously puts its power down well. And actually, Crick sat there with all the tyres smoking and just no forward motion. He just gave it too many revs on the line. I think there's a fair bit of poetic license used with these cars. When you call that car an Escort, I'd say it's fairly loose term.
Scott blasted through well, but then faded, came out in 6th place finally, and going back into the pits is Terry Shield in the RX-7. Great shame. There he is. Yeah, good little car. It's only had 4 outings. Light, well driven, nimble, well set up. There's Crick looking for a way round. He's 4th at the moment. He needs 3rd, and he's got it.
Just trying to sneak up the inside. He's gotten through on the Alfred Smith. That car is a very new car, an incredibly sophisticated car. It has all the Formula 1 type suspension underneath it and puts power down very well out of slow corners. You can see Des Wall's Supra now starting to wear him down a little bit as the race gets on, and I think Wall's car took a little bit to get off the line. This thing was absolute rocket ship off the line.
It's in the area of, I think, about 800 kilos too, and the Supra isn't.
Yeah, that's right.
Supra never has been.
They're beautiful cars. Whether saying this is a Supra is a fairly loose statement.
If you buy a Supra, you get a lot of motor car because you get about 1.5 tons or 1.6 tons. Not that this has much of a passing resemblance to that as a Honda. An alleged Honda Prelude is coming right up onto him, pulls out at the last moment, and now at very high speed indeed is trying to funnel it into the corner at the end of the straight. Crick does a good job, so too does Des Wall.
These cars have a very big moment on the brakes at the end of this straight. They've got to go down a gear or two for the big sweeper, and that turns into a few braking duels just at the end of the straight. The Wall's gone very wide there again. That corner can sneak up on you, as you can see, and if you don't get the apex right, you run really wide.
This is the Rover. Car number 11, I think it is.
Yeah, it was used to rally crossing. He's just starting to prove it.
Yeah, not car 11, but it is the Rover.
Yeah. He's just trying to start it. Obviously, he's got a fire in the exhaust. Yeah. He's away. There's Dominic's right onto him now, and I'd say there's going to be a change of place soon. He's a young guy, Dominic Beninca, comes from a long line of motor racing people in his family. They've got an engineering shop in Melbourne, and they do a lot of the dyno tuning for many of the people in the motor racing fraternity. Had a start with Colin Bond a couple of years back at Bathurst in his Sierra Turbo as well. All over him now. We just need to see how they go down the straight, because Beninca's up alongside, bit of acceleration, Wall's falling back. Easy.
Greg Crick's gone out to a 9.5-second disadvantage from Monterosso, and it's just 5.5 seconds back to these people. Crick must have a problem, surely, as I think Des Wall has, and a bit of a chance of Dom Beninca in 52, the yellow car, and Brian Smith in the red car 5, of catching Greg Crick in the Honda. As I say, he's down to 9.5 seconds behind Monterosso. Monterosso's lagging in the point score. He's on 28, where Crick has 50. But it'd be a real aid to Monterosso if these guys were to catch Crick, the championship point score leader, and pull him back.
I'm just wondering whether it's not whether the other cars, the two Alphas, just getting a little bit better as the circuit wears in, or then the race goes on, they'd be more consistent, whereas the other bigger, heavier cars are a bit more of a problem.
17.7 seconds, the advantage over the start-finishing line at the end of the 11th lap. For Mick Monterosso, the man who looks to build substantially on his 28 points that he has in the championship as they went into this 5th round. Hauling in Greg Crick, but Crick only one placing, albeit a lot of time behind Monterosso. Not able to be caught, I suspect, by Dom Beninca, running in 3rd place. And also Brian Smith, the West Australian. So Monterosso well on towards the checkered flag on his 12th and final lap, doing the last few kilometres of the 47.2 kilometre journey around Eastern Creek. And a very nicely run race indeed. Very well done by Mick Monterosso. Well driven in a well sorted out car, light, simple, well developed, and then very well used, and ultimately an effortless victory after a very good start, but not qualifying so well. He was back in 3rd place. Greg Crick finishes 20.6 seconds away in 2nd place, and just over 3 seconds to 3rd place Dom Beninca, with Brian Smith bringing up 4th.